Alright, so welcome back to the final edition of Daily Fodder that will be done from my current house. I'm about to take down the desk that this whole thing is set up on and probably disconnect all the wires and all that kind of fun stuff. So, let me just leave you with a whole bunch of craziness that I found. I don't even remember when, but I found this in my inbox, so it was from me. A cashier recognized as a robbery suspect as a co-worker. Apparently, these two guys tried to rob a Dillard's on Thursday morning and forced their way to a cashier's cage and demanded money. This was in Wichita, Kansas. Come back to that later. Being dutiful employees, they came back for work later in the morning, driving the same car that they used to try and get away. We will come back to Kansas later on in the show. Let's see. Again, in Kansas. What was he doing? Oh. He shows up drunk to his DUI hearing and has to sober up in his cell before they could bring him to trial. Yeah, list of ways to not show up to your DUI trial. A 19-year-old suspect surrendered after an officer drew a gun on him. The reason they just flat out started drawing a gun on him is because this guy scuffled with a police officer and turned the officer's taser back on him. Turns out, Florida cops are infamous for using tasers and stuff. Kansas, trying to be cool, didn't really work out for him. I think it actually says that he got tasered in the groin, which makes it way funnier. Let's see. Air Marshal leaves plane after dropping bullets. Let's see. Kansas connection here is that he was in Philadelphia and he was boarding a flight to Kansas City. Again, there's no actual evidence pointing to this, but it's quite possible that he was from Kansas. So, we're is that 4 for 4 with crazy Kansas people? This one doesn't have a good link anymore. Apparently it's a small town newspaper and they delete stories because they don't have any space. It just says Wisconsin News. Let's see. The Indian Army is up against one of its toughest foes in years. Apparently they are fighting rats in one of their northern provinces. The flowering bamboo that happens like crazy every 40 years or something also exponentially increases the rat population. So the rats are going crazy. There's tons and tons and tons of them, and the army has been called out to fight the rats. You can turn that into whatever racial slur or epithet you would like. That is not my concern. Let's see. This is a list of 10 types of people that disrupt a normal person's way of life. I might put the link in some of the descriptions that I post on MySpace and YouTube and Daily Fodder and stuff. So I'll just read the titles of them and then it'll have the descriptions there. People who ignore instructions or rules. Politicians. Rednecks. Bums. Hypocrites. Lawsuit junkies. I like that one. News media. I also like that one. Stupid news media. Illegal aliens. Mr. or Mrs. Important. People who get offended. The description on that one's pretty funny, but I'm not going to read it out loud. And people who believe everything they read. You know who you are. You believe everything. It says gullible on your forehead. See it in the reflection right there on your monitor? Gullible. Let's see, keep that link open. A suburban mom goes on strike and is picketing at her own house. Apparently, the final straw came when her 7- and 9-year-olds stopped making their beds. She flipped, and now she's on strike in front of her house. If that had been in Kansas, I would have just lost it. Some guy in England built the Titanic completely out of matchsticks, shattering the world record. He it's 7 meters long and uses 5 million matchsticks. A guy on my own 101 loop right down here, I say mine because I drive it every day, was arrested for going 147 miles an hour thanks to those photo radar things that we have on the highway. I wish I could have seen him. He was in a Kia. Who drives 147 in a Kia? It's in Scottsdale. I mean, it should be someone in a Ferrari or, there's lots of Ferraris up there. Come on. What are you thinking? No, that's dumb. Let's see. Oh, this guy in, I think it was Texas. Yeah, Fort Worth. He broke into a liquor store and then he couldn't get out. So he realized that, he tried, and then he just sat down on a cooler in the middle of the store and waited for the cops to arrest him. Turns out, don't mess with liquor stores, but you can mess with Texans, because they'll get stuck. That was not really a funny joke. Or a joke, really. It was dumb. Alright, let's moving on. Apparently, this judge in Florida has ruled that it's unconstitutional to make students stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. This would go right at the very top of my list of why the ACLU sucks. They're ridiculous. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into how ridiculous they are. Eventually, it will be part of your civil rights to be able to just, walk up and kill somebody. We're almost at that point, but like I said, I'm going to stop. All right, a corpse fell off a hearse, and then the corpse got run over. And so these police in the Philippines were sitting there fighting about which charges to press or which charges to file, because nobody really knew since the guy was already dead. But you could kind of categorize it as a hit and run, so they didn't know what to do. Dumb. The swearing parrot that was sentenced to death by what do you call him? Oh, a rabbi. This guy who bought this swearing parrot. He was so offended. He asked his rabbi. He's like, "Rabbi, what should I do?" And the guy's like, "Well, you should slaughter it or have its tongue cut out for being foul-mouthed." But apparently, his wife, this parrot owner guy's wife, she threatened to divorce him if he killed the parrot. So they are donating it to a zoo. We're going to leave off with Britain apparently having way too much free time and taking their teenage practical jokes way beyond, the next level, which is, like the funny or like extreme funny. These kids are lighting their groins on fire. Apparently they don't know what to do with that equipment. So they decided that lighting it on fire seems like a good idea. Yeah, at this rate, I really think that the British people might be doomed if this is what they're going to do with their spare time. Alright, I'm out. This is, like I said, the last episode of Daily Fodder from our apartment. I'll be coming at you hopefully early next week from the new location, new room. You won't have to see that desk. Oh, wrong way. That way. That desk or, the tripod and all this crazy bad backlighting because I'll be in a different room. So it should be pretty sweet. Alright, I'm out.